In this video, I'm just going to tell you about the Name on a Knife Blade project. I'm going to tell you about where the idea came from, how it started, and how it's got turned into reality. I was sorting out the knives at the Hawley tool collection at Kelham Island in Sheffield, and realised that first of all we had an awful lot of knives. We had thousands of knives, and that when I put them into alphabetical order, I realised there was an awful lot of different makers, and they had different surnames on them. Had in the region of 800 different surnames, and the one thing that stands out, of course, these are all good Sheffield surnames. If somebody come in the museum and have you got a knife made by someone called Atkin, previously we'd have said, well, we might have, we'll go and have a look in the box beginning with A. But we had no definitive system of actually cataloguing and directing somebody to the knife they might be interested in question. So the germ of an idea started to form that if we could get families and grandkids to come in and have a look at a knife with their surname on, that would be something that'd be quite cool and quite exciting for people in Sheffield to do. The original idea was that actually we might have a physical knife wall like a war memorial. When you visit a war memorial, the very first thing that you do is you go and see if your name's on it. However, the names on some of the knife blades were actually, they were just etched, and there was quite fine etching and not that easy to read. So we came up with the idea, why don't we have a digital archive? And the idea of a digital archive is actually that would be something that would be even better, because it would mean that people would be able to visit it from not only Sheffield coming in the gallery, but also be able to look at it all over the world. So we had the idea. We took it to the Heritage Lottery Fund, and thankfully they were really quite keen on the idea. They saw this having potential for Sheffield and the wider world. So we applied for a grant. We were successful in obtaining a grant, and basically we commissioned a company to sort out the digital archive for us. So the idea now, which has basically almost come to fruition, is that you can go into the gallery at the Hawley Gallery at Kelham Island, and you can actually type in your surname, and if there's a knife with your surname on it, it will actually pop up on the screen, and you can look at the history of that company. A couple of interesting issues is we've got some knives for which we have no history, and interesting, we have some history for which we've got no knives. We're eternally grateful to Geoffrey Tweedale for his history of Sheffield cutlers, and we're able to use the extended information that he's got, and we've been able to put that into the digital archive. So the great thing is now, if you look at hawleyknives.com, you can get on and you can try using that database. If you don't live in Sheffield, no problem. If you're in Australia, you can actually have a look at that. But please, if you've got information about any of these companies, if you've got memorabilia about these companies, or in fact, if you've got a knife by these companies that we haven't got, we'd love to hear from you. So that's the story behind the Name on a Knife Blade project. Thank you.